Hey, how are you? Oh, I hope you're doing well. I am kind of hiding undercover today because we are in the midst of a cyclone, I guess. That's what the internet says. Lots and lots more water. Warning of mudslides and that kind of thing. So I'm going to kind of hunker in for the day. It's very, very mucky. I did go downtown and it's a kind of a mud hole. So I'm like, I think I'm not going to go for any long hike today. No. How are things in your world? I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about healing and the power of healing. And in case you didn't know, you have the power to heal. Yeah. I mean, we talk about healers, but really we're just guides. Guides who are helping each individual tap into their own healing power. I have someone that's very special to me that's in the hospital right now. And that person is quite sick. And we talked about tapping into their own healing power. I sent Reiki and did a scan and could see definitely there was some issues, but also could see there was some emotional stuff going on. You know, the problem is that when we hold on to old issues, which we do because we pick up things when we're children or when we're young, and or at any time, trauma, emotional hurts are held in our cells and in the muscles and the fascia. And when they're held in these areas, it lowers our immune system. And then later in life, you may find that you are experiencing a dis-ease in your physical body because you've been carrying a dis-ease in your emotional self. It's real. It's not just something I've made up. There's lots of people talking about it and the studies and what have you. The power of Reiki, the power of prayer, all of that does help. But when we really have to do our own part. And our part is to release and let go of the stuff that's no longer serving us and come to a place of unconditional love and peace. And sometimes, on our own it may be difficult, but you can do it. And you may need some guidance, but you definitely can do it. I think what happens is we have emotional stuff happen, and it'll trigger, even as an adult, something that how your father reacted or how your mother reacted or how whatever may trigger you and how it affected you when you were 3, 4, 5, And I think what happens is we build up a protection because the subconscious mind is what's in control, and it remembers everything from the day of birth and before. And it's filed very carefully in its safe place. And it protects us. It uses that information to protect us so that we are not going to be faced with anything that's going to upset us or create a dis-ease. But it's a kind of a mumble-jumbled mess. Imagine you come here, you're this perfect little being, and you begin to learn about all things about life. Happy things, sad things, stressful things. And you begin to open up your little files in your little mind, and you file it. And as a small person, your filing isn't exactly right. You don't have the wherewithal to say, well, they didn't really mean that, so that's not really valid. You just take it all in. And so often, by the time that we are teenagers and adults, we have kind of a mumble-jumbled mess. And it's a good idea to somehow figure out how to deal with that. And I feel like we protect ourselves by placing a barrier or a protection around whatever it is. So say we're feeling anger, and we hold that in our kidneys or our liver, and we place a barrier so that we don't have to deal with that anymore because it's painful, right? And so that barrier over time gets stronger, more fortified. And then I feel like it becomes like a wall. Instead of really a protection, it becomes a wall which really just separates us from life, separates us from experiences. It's not helpful. So anything that, that reminds you of when you felt anger triggers you, or you retreat, or you totally want to, jump in there with verbal words or fisticuffs. These are the things that we need to release and let go of, because they're not serving us. And so when I talked to this person, I was like, you could imagine love and light, a real divine light around your kidney and your liver, penetrating your wall, the wall of your protection, your false protection, because anger and fear and guilt and all of those things are just an illusion. The real thing is love. So we want to replace all of those feelings with that feeling of love, unconditional love. So if you were to place a light of love and peace around your area of where you're feeling the discomfort, could it possibly begin to melt away that wall? Could it possibly begin to dissolve that wall, to allow that wall to come down so you could really begin the process of releasing and letting go finally, once and for all? And this can happen actually very, very quickly. Very quickly. It can happen overnight. And it does happen overnight. And they're like, wow, that person was miraculously cured. Well, yeah, somehow they were. And maybe it was that they just released and let go, right? This is your superpower, your visualization, using your imagination to visualize your body surrounded by love and light, or your organs, or whatever part is in discomfort. Also to visualize yourself healed completely. What would you do if you were healed completely? Would you be out walking in the sunshine, walking on the beach? Would you be with people that you love? What would you be experiencing? Imagine that, like you were playing a mind movie in your head, and just play it over and over and allow it to expand. Allow it to become bigger, grander, better. This is the power of healing. And we can tap into that at any time that we choose. Any time that we choose. This is important. I really wanted to share this with you today because I feel it, I know it, I see it happening, and so many people are not, they don't know. They're not open, or they just didn't know. They didn't know that they had the power. They were never taught. I'm teaching you right now. I'm teaching you right now. You have amazing power. You do. You do, you do, you do. And every situation is perfect. So this person that I was talking to yesterday, I said, you know what? This is the perfect time. You've been brought to this place in the hospital to be quiet, to rest, to have this moment to yourself, to reflect, to do your inner work. Because when you're busy working and doing the things that you do, you don't have time. You don't have time to do your inner work. You don't have time to reflect. You don't have time to rest. So what a great opportunity when you're sick. Imagine that. You could use that opportunity. I'm just going to be quiet and allow myself to heal. I'm going to do some inner work. I'm going to see love and light, the strong, divine light around those areas that are in discomfort, and allow myself to be open to the healing process, the natural healing process. You know, the animals, if you think about that, I remember hearing Wayne Dyer talk about, he was on a safari in Africa, and he was up at 3 a.m. He was just looking out over the desert and just the amazingness of the place. And there off in the distance, he could see, or near, maybe nearby, because he could see, I think it was a giraffe that was very badly injured. The flesh was torn, and I think he said it even was missing a limb. I think that's what he said. It was really serious. But he said that animal just carried on and was, grazing and healing. And that's what nature does. It just brings us to a place where we can be quiet and heal. But we get caught up in it. We think that we need to do so much more. And, sometimes it's just that. Sometimes it's just finding that inner space. Practice some breathing, deep breathing. When you can deep breathe, allow the oxygen to go to the bottom part, the lower part of your lungs, you trigger your own medicine. You trigger your parasympathetic nervous system to relax, to really relax. If you were to take a walk in nature, wow, double whammy. Deep breathe, walk in nature. You only have to do that for a couple of minutes and you can find yourself breathing more calmly. You can find yourself really be able to get a grip, to really imagine then that you're grounded to the earth, that there's nothing that could blow you over. These are powerful healing tools. It's not just me talking. I don't visit the doctor. I don't take medications. I go to nature if something's wrong. I pay attention to my body. I talk to my body. These are the things that you can learn to do. These are the things that you can learn to do. I can hear the monkeys off in the distance talking to each other. Hey, the rain's coming. Have an absolutely beautiful, beautiful day. Take some time just to breathe. Take care. Bye-bye.